Welcome to another episode in the Amateur Expert Series, Why Dating is Like Sports. And here's your host, Tyler. So dating is incredibly difficult these days. And as men, we just don't understand women. And I think we can all agree on that. And another thing we can agree on is a lot of men love sports. And some men may even understand sports. Now, who am I, you may ask? 6 foot 1 inches tall, 185 pounds, from Cedar Falls, Iowa. Player comp is an undersized Grievous Vasquez. Bench max is 225 pounds. Squat is 350. Deadlift max is 405. 1 previous girlfriend, 0 boyfriends. I'm not bragging, but I've had 1 alive girlfriend before. And I've been in exactly 1 relationship in my 27 years on this planet. And that relationship lasted more than several days. So you could say I know a thing or two about dating, but I'm, not very experienced. But I know a few more things about sports, and I've grown up as a lifelong sports fan, and I've noticed some parallels between dating and sports, and I'd like to share with you some of those thoughts today. Now, my favorite sports are football and basketball, so I'll be using comparisons primarily in those 2 sports, and basketball has the best correlation to dating because you have to play, both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Let's relate your first relationship to your first contract. That's when you were drafted. And everyone's looking for the prodigy. That's the person that has the genetic gifts, the skills, the IQ, and the intangibles that put them in the top 1% of the class. And that's incredibly hard to find. If you're still dating or are potentially married to your first partner, congratulations. But the rest of the market is likely on their 2nd, 3rd, or 7th contract. There's plenty of Ish Smiths, Josh Johnsons, and Tony Snells out there. But there's also a lot of elite talent that have jumped from team to team, so don't think there's anything wrong with this. And if you're single, then you're a free agent. And if you're single and haven't been in a relationship yet, then you're a draft prospect. And some people come into the draft older than others. Some have more experience but less potential. Some are young and are genetic freaks but lack the IQ and the fundamentals. But everyone is looking for the right match. And if you're past your first contract and you're single, then you're a free agent. Now, some free agents are more highly coveted than others. So you need to check out the market to see what your value is. And you need to be realistic if you're looking for the right team. The best teams are looking for players that'll help them win without bringing on unnecessary drama or distractions to the locker room. So ask yourself, does your value match the types of teams you're looking to play for? Some skills may be inflated in a certain market, while others are less valued. In basketball, for example, shooting is at a premium, and so is versatile defending, shot creating, and playmaking. Whereas big men and specialists are starting to be less valued. In football, running backs are rewarded with lower value contracts than other positions like quarterback, left tackle, and receiver. In dating, certain attributes will be more valuable than others, and I'll be talking about those attributes later on in the video. Next, you need to find the right fit. Just because one team may want you doesn't mean they're the right fit for you, even if they have the best offer available. And to do this, you need to write down your strengths and weaknesses. The team that's the right fit for you will highlight your strengths while covering up your weaknesses. Every player and every team has weaknesses, just like every potential spouse has weaknesses. You just need to ask yourself, which ones can I live with? Say, this team is looking for some shooting. Ask yourself, can I provide that? This girl likes to talk a lot. Can I listen? Or, I'm a disagreeable person. I should probably avoid dating other disagreeable people unless I want to spend most of my time arguing. And I must advise, don't get desperate. Just because there's no offers on the table now doesn't mean you take the first offer that becomes available. And if they're trying to change you or your play style, stay away. This rarely works out. And now on to the supporting cast. In sports, that relates to the front office and teammates. Does it seem to be a good fit? Does the front office have the money to spend to sign you? Do they show loyalty to their players? In dating, The supporting cast relates to the family and friends. Do I like my potential spouse's family and friends? And what do my family and friends think of my potential spouse? Supporting casts are crucial in any long-term relationship. And lastly, what is your timeline? Are you looking for a long-term commitment, or are you looking to prove yourself on a short-term deal? And if that's the case, don't sign a long-term contract planning to opt out after the first year. If that is the case, you need a partner and a team that's on the same page as you. And if you are in more of a developmental stage in your career, you need a partner or a team that is going to allow you to grow and work through those growing pains. Don't go signing with a team that's in win now mode, because there's a good chance you likely won't get any playing time on that team. And before you know it, they're going to swap you out for someone who is more talented at this point in time and more fits their timeline. Now that we've made the connection between sports and dating and what questions to ask ourselves in each situation, we can start to apply that to our current situation so we can find the right relationship. Step number 1 is assess your value and be honest. What do you bring to the table, and what type of value can you add to your next team or relationship? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Assess your physicals. That's your height, weight, and body composition. Assess your skills. That's your ability to start and end a conversation, maintain a conversation, ask questions, your sense of humor. What's your current financial situation? All those things are important. Step number 2, improve your value to maximize your potential, which is the ultimate dating and career hack. Do you want to move into a higher market? Do you want to have more suitors? Well, then worry about what you have control over. What would you tell an athlete to do? In basketball, you would tell them to work on their skills. So you tell them, work on your ball handling, passing, your shooting, and your defense. Improve your strength and athleticism. Now in dating, that means improve the core 4. That's health, wealth, communication, and character. And I did not just make up the core 4 because it rhymed. But if you're trying to improve your dating value, this is a good place to start. For health, get in shape. That means start lifting weights, run, do something athletic, clean up your diet, eat roughly clean foods about 80% of the time, get 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night, and walk 10,000 steps. Do that for 12 weeks and then see where you're at. If you want to improve your communication skills, that includes how to start a conversation, maintain it, and end one. Be curious and ask questions. That can be extremely powerful. If you don't know where to start, I'll give you the acronym FORD. That stands for Family, Occupation, Recreation, and Dreams. Ask someone about these things, and I promise you that you'll have something positive come out of that interaction. You also need to be able to talk about yourself, which means you need to be able to keep their interest. And what's the best way to do that? It's to live an interesting life. So ask yourself, what are you genuinely interested in? And then pursue your interests. Do you like sports? Attend sports games. Play sports. Do you like music? Go to concerts. Learn how to play an instrument. Do you want to travel more? Do it. Make your dreams come true. Ask yourself what brings you energy when you talk about it. Your interests are what make you unique. That becomes your brand. That becomes your niche. So spend your free time doing the things that you love and the things that you're interested in. For wealth, I recommend you get good at something and then you continually learn more about it. You want to become an expert and try to master your profession. And when you're choosing a career, I would also recommend you choose one where the top 10% of the talent in that profession earn a good amount of money. So you're not picking something too outlandish, like being a professional athlete or maybe a singer, where the top 10% of the talent in those groups may not even, have a job. But you're picking something that can be useful and provide use to the rest of society. If you're having trouble choosing a career, I recommend you try to combine whatever you're passionate about with whatever you're good at. And hopefully when you combine those two things, you can make some money with that. And then with whatever money you have left over, I recommend that you invest it. And that can be in yourself, so furthering your education, or potentially learning new skills, because skills pay the bills. Or you can put your money in other investments so you can accrue, passive income. And that could be putting your money in the stock market, into a 401k, Or who knows, maybe purchasing a vending machine. Whatever you can do to make your money work for you. And on to character, and this broadly encompasses whether or not you're a good person. Basically what your morals are. And I recommend getting yourself a few cues ready. And anytime you have to make maybe an important decision. For me personally, I like to ask myself, would I be proud to tell my future child of what I did? And that usually helps steer me in the right direction morally. Oftentimes people say your character is what you do when nobody's watching. So try to be a better person and leave the world in a better place. And maybe along the way you'll attract some better people if you live that way. Athletes oftentimes work on their skills in the off season, so I'd recommend you work on your dating skills in the off season as well. And typically an athlete will focus on one or two things to work on specifically, so you should probably do the same as well. Focusing on too many things at once can hinder your progress in all those areas. And one thing that limits your personal development is distractions. Is your phone limiting your ability to focus? Or maybe it's video games taking up too much of your time. Or maybe you're trying to get back in shape, but you have a craving for Oreos that is driving you crazy. No need to worry, because I have the product for you. The Lockbox 3000. The ultimate tool for focus and personal development. Put your vices in the box and stash it away. The idea is to create friction and inconvenience you so much that you say,
I said forget about it, cuz.
The Lockbox 3000. A $1,000 value for a fraction of the cost. Call now to get yours today. And third, what are your core values? What are you looking for in your next partner or team? Is it money? Is it loyalty? Is it stability? Is it long-term commitment? Maybe it's a sense of humor, or just to have some fun, or maybe it's just to gain some experience. Identify your core values, and that'll help you choose a partner and situation that's right for you at this moment in time. And I saved the best for last. The most important ability is availability. And that's in both sports and in dating. So leave those situationships and past relationships behind. It's similar to recovering from an injury in sports. You need to rehab it. You can't keep opening up a wound and expect it to heal. Just like you can't expect to progress if something or someone is holding you back. So don't be flaky. Try new things. Go out in public and be available to other potential partners. Since you've been watching for this long, I wanted to include some bonus tips on outsourcing and asking for help. So the next one is hire an agent. And that could be a friend, a family member, or an acquaintance. Agents are helpful because they have connections. They know who to talk to. And in sports, agents help athletes get deals done. And in dating, they can do the same. In dating, your agent can help with that as well. Maybe they know other single people that you could hit it off with. Use your agent to help meet other people. Oftentimes, your friends and family members would love it if you asked them if they knew anyone that they could set you up with. My next bonus tip is don't be crazy. Teams in sports are more willing to put up with drama from the most talented players, and it's a direct relationship. The more talented a player is, the more the team is willing to put up with. And that's common in dating as well. The more attractive you are, or the more dating value you have, the more your significant other is willing to put up with. But even the most talented athletes have had their careers shortened due to their insanity. And that's oftentimes the case with crazy people and their relationships. So if you have shown signs in the past of being crazy, now is the best time for you to address it. That's all I have for you on this episode in the Amateur Expert Series, Why Dating is Like Sports. And here's a summary slide for what we covered today. Hopefully that simplifies dating for you. And leave a like or a comment if you were entertained or maybe you learned something new. Thanks for watching, and I hope you tune in for the next one. Reminder, the host is no expert on this topic. He's an amateur with novel ideas that he decided to share with people willing to listen. Take caution when following his advice.